Hello, my name is Justin Adams, and welcome to Jay's Days. It is sadly almost the end of the month of December. Not only is it almost the end of the month of December, it's the end of the year 2015. So that means that there are no more shitty movies that are going to be released under this year at least. There are going to be plenty of shitty movies that will be coming out next year though. But just because it's the end of this year, and this year of shitty movies, I'm going to be naming my top 10 worst movies of 2015. Are you guys ready? Because I certainly am. Let's do this. At number 10 is Get Hard. Will Ferrell and Kevin Hart are funny guys. I love both of them, especially Will Ferrell. Kevin Hart still fails to be capturing anything remotely watchable on screen. The only thing that I've seen him where he's actually good in it is Scary Movie 3. I don't know, like, Ride Along was not that great. Actually, you know what, there's this movie called About Last Night that Kevin Hart actually brings a very thoughtful performance. But Get Hard wastes all of its time on these two trying to improvise their way out of bad scenes. The entire movie is a one-note joke. If you go to prison, you're gonna get raped. So funny. At number 9 is The D Train. Now, I don't think this movie is a bad movie. I think that this movie is definitely a disappointing one. I remember when I heard about this movie when it was going to the Sundance Film Festival, and I saw Jack Black. Last time that he was at the Sundance Film Festival was for Bernie, and that was 3 years before this, and Bernie is amazing, so I was assuming that The D Train was going to be something very good for him because of these two first-time directors. I thought it was going to be something worth Jack Black's time, and then I watched it, and it's not a bad movie. It's just that they have this plot twist where it really should have elevated the story, but instead it didn't take it anywhere, and it just made the entire movie a very awkward film to watch, and Jack Black's character is impossible to sympathize with. He is just an extremely unlikable guy, and I don't want that from Jack Black. I like it when he's a likable loser, not an unlikable loser. At number 8 is Knock Knock. This movie is starring Keanu Reeves and directed by Eli Roth. It is horrible. It's a bad movie. It is bad acting, bad writing, just everything is bad. They think that the premise that they have chosen is original, and they think that they are bringing something new, but there's nothing new with this. This same thing. And the worst part about it is that they know that they're being campy, but the fact that they know that they're being campy, they just go way too far with it, and they just start becoming a joke themselves. Instead of making a joke, they just become a joke. At number 7 is Victor Frankenstein. This movie is just bad. I don't understand. Max Landis, the writer of the movie, he has a tendency of creating really interesting ideas, but that's all they are. They're just interesting ideas, as they're just, the movie, itself, just do not hold up to the premise that he created. It's funny because he spends time on Twitter and YouTube, making videos and commenting on, for example, now Star Wars: The Force Awakens. He's saying that it's not good because of Rey is too strong of a female character, and I think that it's ridiculous. And I'm not trying to blame him, because I don't think, me being a writer myself, I don't think I should ever blame a writer for a movie's failure, unless it's all their fault. But most of the time it can be studio interference, directors and stuff. He claims that that Victor Frankenstein is not his movie anymore, but his name is still on it, and what I saw does kind of seem Max Landis-y, but it's weird how he spends all of his time complaining about other movies instead of, working hard on his movies, instead of, making shit like Victor Frankenstein. Chronicle was a really good movie, and American Ultra, for what it was original, but I don't with Victor Frankenstein and American Ultra, these are two movies that could have been better, but they're not, because I feel like he is getting his ego in the way. But James McAvoy was really good, so there's an upside to everything. At number 6, Hot Tub Time Machine 2. It's just bad. Did they really think that we were not going to miss John Cusack? Did they think that we were just going to shrug that off? No. He's like the reason why I watched that movie. If he was not in that movie, I would probably not have seen the movie. It wouldn't have been released, because he was the glue. Without the glue, you tend to not stick. You tend to just fall all over the place, and that's what this movie did. It just fell all over the place. And in the unrated version, they decided, hey, you know what? Let's get John Cusack for a split second, thinking, okay, a little piece is gonna stick, but no, the piece just sticks for a second, and then it falls. Makes no sense. At number 5, Accidental Love. Now, this movie is interesting. It's interesting because the movie behind the movie is a lot more interesting than the movie that we get. Believe it or not, it was directed by one of the greatest directors of all time, David O. Russell. He has done American Hustle, The Fighter, Silver Linings Playbook, just amazing movies. This was during his I Heart Huckabees days, so this is when he was kind of losing his mind a little bit. Right after I Heart Huckabees, he did this movie called Nailed, which he co-wrote with Al Gore's daughter, Kristen Gore. Yeah, bear with me. And it stars Jessica Biel, Jake Gyllenhaal, Paul Rubens, Pee Wee Herman, and the movie was supposed to be like, if you've seen I Heart Huckabees, it was supposed to be like that. It was supposed to be just this kooky movie that is just all over the place. And if you don't have David O. Russell editing it, or if you don't have him with you while you're editing, then the movie is going to be a mess, and it's not going to make any sense. And that's what happened with Accidental Love. He disowned it because not want anything to do with the editing, so it just ended up being a confusing mess. The movie makes no sense, and the fact that it is before Obamacare and stuff like that, it's this movie about this girl not getting health insurance. So the movie is dated and makes no sense. It's just it's all over the place. It's sad too, because I can see when watching some scenes, I can see some I Heart Huckabees action going on with some scenes. I can see David O. Russell, but then again it's wasted because just the studio decided to just make a quick buck. At number 4, 50 Shades of Grey. It's horrible. It's just I don't need to say anything else. It's not a good movie. It's the dialogue is laughable. The chemistry between the two, there is no chemistry. It's just not a good movie. I cannot believe the Golden Globes nominated "Love Me Like You Do" for Best Song. It just proves that you guys are a huge joke. It just, why out of all the songs? At number 3, The Cobbler. This movie is sad. This shit was supposed to be good. Everyone, now Tom McCarthy has Spotlight and stuff. Everyone wants to just, forgive him. Not me. I'm not gonna forgive him for that movie because I actually like Adam Sandler. He's good when he's serious. When he's actually trying, I don't just like him, I love him because it shows that he can do it. And this movie is just sad because he brings it. He is there. He's like, okay, I am ready to actually act. And Tom McCarthy is like, no, I want you to be Adam Sandler. But I want you to look like you're actually going to act. But you're just going to be Adam Sandler in an Adam Sandler movie. But it's all going to look good. The movie is just, there's no message to it. The hero has no objective. There are no villains. There's nothing. The movie's just a bunch of episodes that make no sense together, and it's sad because Adam Sandler is actually trying. It's sad. At number 2 is Fantastic Four. You guys should have guessed that this was gonna be on here. This movie is just horrible. Even if you try to like it, you can't because it's that horrible. It's nothing about it was done right. The writing was bad, the direction that it was going, each direction, even if Josh Trank, even if his fantastic version got released, I'm sure it wouldn't have been that fantastic. I'm sure it would have been a meh movie because Fantastic Four is not supposed to be serious. It is supposed to be light, but this movie is just not. It's campy, but not in a good way. It's worse than Batman and Robin. You've probably heard this before, but Batman and Robin at least has some sense of some type of sense of humor to it. This movie has no sense of humor to it at all. It's just a bad movie all around. And like, even if you sit there and try your hardest to like not hate on it, it's impossible because there are just too many things, especially in the third act. There are just way too many things going on that you're just like, oh, that's just so bad, I can't watch it anymore. And now my number one pick. Before I say it, remember when I said I liked Adam Sandler? Before I say this, I take it back. My number one slot goes to The Ridiculous Six. This just came out on Netflix, and if you haven't seen my review, check it out. It's 9 minutes, and I talk about it nonstop, so I'm not going to just sit here and talk about it right now. I'm just going to say it's bad. It deserves to be on my number one spot. It's just, it makes its place. It's perfect. It's that puzzle piece that is just like, oh, you fit so perfectly right there. And then you look at it for a while and you're just like, that's the shittiest damn puzzle I've ever seen, but you just look so perfect there. The Ridiculous Six. Why were you made? It took 10 years for Sandler to get it made. I've done my research for the movie since I've done my review because it just baffles me that it still exists. Why? Guys, those are my picks for my top 10 worst movies of the year. Stay tuned because I'm going to be releasing my top 10 best movies right after this or the next day. I'm not sure, just whenever it gets to you, it gets to you. Let me know what you guys think. What are your worst movies of 2015? What do you guys hate? Like, what are your most disappointing ones? I wanted to do that, but I decided I'm just going to stick with the horse shit, with the really, really bad movies. If you guys want, you can follow me on Twitter at IamJustin_420. And yeah, stay tuned for my Christmas reviews, for my other top 10. And yeah. And thank you, Jarrell Alexandria, for that shout out. I have more subscribers and people like my videos, so that's cool of you, man. You thought that what I did was dope. What you did was doper. Yeah, you gave me an audience. So thank you for that, man. And yeah, check out his channel still. Check out his movie, Satori. Awesome movie. And yeah, all I got.